Like a scene from The Wizard of Oz, a funnel cloud tosses a building through the air, lighting up the sky as power lines snap. And Mother Nature left behind a trail of damage across the country, including right here at home.
Yeah, and that leaves a lot of you asking, why didn't you get a warning? We're going to explain coming up, News 8 Daybreak.
Came out the back door and everything looked like it had exploded.
The wind got really high and I thought, okay. And my boyfriend says, oh, that sounds like hail. And he jumps up and the next thing I hear is, that's not hail, that's a and my whole house exploded.
You described it like an explosion. The National Weather Service confirms that an EF0 tornado caused damage in Mesquite Saturday morning, ripping apart roofs, fences, and even a brick wall with winds up to 80 miles per hour. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us as we come live to you from Victory Park in downtown Dallas. Today is Sunday, March 10th. I'm Cleo Green alongside meteorologist Kyle Roberts. And Kyle, you know, after I anchor on Saturday, I usually do a story. So I was out there in Mesquite. A lot of people saw some extreme damage to their homes. One woman's home was condemned by the city of Mesquite. And what they told me was that they never got a warning. They never got a warning that this might have happened.
There was a severe thunderstorm warning out for that area at that time, but there was not a tornado warning. Now, in hindsight, we go back and we do these damage surveys to figure out what exactly happened. Do the damage survey. National Weather Service figured out an EF0 tornado happened. So there was not a tornado warning, but I want to kind of explain why there wasn't a warning issue, because this type of situation, very tricky, obviously can cause some damage, and you know, luckily nobody was in the wrong place, but you know, can cause some damage. And so I kind of want to talk about what happened here. And a lot of you had the same question. Now, I'm not calling anybody out when I show you these comments that we have here, because I think it's just important, because I think these questions are, you know, ones that a lot of people have when it comes to these storms. So I want to show you this. These were comments left on our WFA Facebook page, weather page that is. And Caitlin says, wow, I never knew. I never heard any sirens or anything talking about that storm and obviously the Mesquite tornado there. Terry was saying, I live one street over and didn't hear any sirens. She was at home with a grandchild and pets. So yes, we obviously want to get the warning out. And Valerie says, again, City of Mesquite, where were our sirens? Well, the simple answer is, there weren't any sirens because there wasn't ever a tornado warning issued. Sirens only get issued when there's a or sirens generally only occur when there's a tornado warning. I'll come back to that in a second. For now, let's talk about that actual tornado. Started around Allen Drive, ended around Corta and Lindo Drive. It was an EF0, which means it had winds of 75 to 85 miles an hour, and it happened about 7:35. The total track length was about 1.5 miles, 2 miles or so, and these storms were moving about 60 miles an hour. So this whole thing probably lasted only about 2 minutes or less. So an EF0, what does that mean? Well, that technically is weak. According to our tornado scale here, we use the enhanced Fujita scale, goes all the way up to EF5. Remember the Rowlett tornado? That was an EF4. So this one considerably weaker than that, but did cause obviously some damage. EF0s can have 65 to 85 mile an hour winds, and then the scale just goes up from there. EF5 tornadoes, which are incredibly rare, but can happen, those have wind speeds over 200 miles an hour. So let's get back to that question. Why didn't the siren sound? Well, the simple answer is because there was no tornado warning issued. That's very rare as well. We try and warn all these tornadoes, but sometimes one or two slip through the cracks. But here's what I want to make sure. A lot of people were saying, well, I didn't hear the sirens. Well, yes, you didn't hear the sirens because there wasn't a warning. But here's one thing I want you to do. I don't want you to count on those sirens to get a tornado warning. They are meant for people outdoors. If you're in your house and it's raining, it's hailing, you're not going to hear the sirens anyway. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a weather radio. That's how you get those warnings, or a smartphone. Weather radio is almost foolproof if you replace the batteries. Smartphones are very good. The problem is if you lose cell signal, then you're not going to get those warnings. Now let's talk about why wasn't there a tornado warning. Well, this was within a line of storms. It was also a weak tornado. These are usually short-lived. Like I said, probably 2 minutes or less. Now they're very hard to detect, but not impossible. And actually, by the time a warning was issued, and even if those sirens went off, that tornado that we saw yesterday probably would have been over. So this is the very difficult situation that we're dealing with. We try and warn every single one of these storms, but yes, sometimes one or two slip through the cracks. But it did have a severe thunderstorm warning, and that warrants enough just staying indoors and staying at home. Now, I do have more storms in the forecast for this week. We'll talk about those coming up here in a bit.
Thanks there, Kyle. Some good information at 8:04 here. Check out this video. This funnel cloud was caught on camera in North Louisiana as it picks up building and hurls it through power lines. It picks up a building and hurls it through power lines. And there were at least 10 tornadoes reported across the South yesterday, and several people have minor injuries after tornadoes